major strange stuff going on, electronics, just things happening physically, friends, all these things. If you've noticed a major shift, you are not alone. Stuff is accelerating. This is a fact. Time is speeding up. That is a fact. I'm talking scientific now. I want to share with you that the frequency of the planet is raising. That's a fact also. All this has been monitored from a scientific viewpoint, but what does it mean to us? Want to talk about your karma? It's accelerated. I've noticed a lot of this happening, and I believe, this is just my opinion, you may be noticing it too, that karma payoff debt is accelerated, and yours might be due. Anything that has been happening up until this point is now going to work itself out, because as we shift into the new planet, the new Earth, it does not tolerate that. And so, as we split more and more from this, and we don't tolerate the low density behavior, there's a karmic debt that is being paid with a lot of people. Yeah, is it a little scary? I'm going to talk about it, give you some examples. Let's see if this is happening to you, because no matter what you've done, you can get through this, and it must be done to free yourself to go on to that higher frequency. Hey, you know what? We're human beings. It's okay. Come on with me. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. Woo! Hey, my hair's getting longer. Woo-wee! Woo! Okay, did I mess it up? Oh, I'm always doing something. All right, we're having fun today. Guess what? I'm going to get you so excited, if you aren't already, about 2021. It is kicking off. We went through a lot of shifts, change. Our world is not the same. Yay! What part of that was so great, right? It was a mess. It's a beautiful planet. You can live a beautiful life, but we are shifting into something so amazing. I'm feeling it. Now, we earlier, let's say, I shouldn't say earlier, it's like fall of 2020, we're going through some really weird shifts in the collective, a lot of fear, a lot of illnesses, I mean, you know, beyond what we're already going through, and just feeling very uncomfortable and chaotic, unorganized. A lot of people just felt like they just didn't have any, you know, clarity. And then we shifted into this time period where, whoa, something big is happening. We feel it, and some weird stuff's going on. Once again, especially with electronics, things are changing, and they're amazing, and they're beautiful, if you see it that way. Let's talk about karma. Have you noticed that when people do stuff that's not so nice, there's an acceleration of the reaction to that? I'm seeing people literally have legal issues due to past stuff that they thought was no big deal. I am seeing people out there trying to, you know, fib a little bit about stuff, and then it's coming back to them like that it's not okay. I'm seeing people that think they can just talk to people a certain way, and they've gotten away with it for so long, and all of a sudden the reaction from that person is, I don't have to put up with your crap, right? And walking, that's okay to walk away from bad energy. We don't have to tolerate this stuff. Now, we don't want to judge it, and you're bad, and I'm good, and all this crap. Let's not go into that density. Let's just say, you know what? That is a frequency I don't want to participate in anymore. And I don't need to fix it. So this is the difference, and I did a video on this. We're not here to fix it. You know how you change it? You allow that person to make their own decision based on your reaction to it. So I see so many of you going, you're bad, oh Landria, I loved you until I thought you voted for so-and-so. By the way, I didn't. Just so you know, I didn't vote. I'm going to say it right here. I didn't vote. Why? Because I think it's insane. I desired not to get involved. And so here's people made assumptions, and I'm the enemy. And when does this stop? You're spiritual? Don't even claim that. Let's stop claiming that. What's spirituality? It could be the person on the street who seems insane, could be more spiritual than some of these people over here saying, this is how things are. You know what? It's whatever you think it is. It's your reality, and it's your life to choose and your beliefs to choose. You get full control over that. If somebody tells you anything different, talk to the hand, but you don't have to argue with them. We must stop the opposition and separation. That is going away, and I'm going to tell you why. When you oppose somebody by trying to dupe them or lie to them or do something or hoarding, or even if you're taking too much toilet paper, you remember that? And who knows when that stuff's going to show up again. You know what? I would rather give food to somebody else than to have it myself and watch somebody starve. I'd rather starve myself, because ultimately I never die. And the act of kindness and giving is going to create something so amazing. So if you're going into a space of doing stuff that's not so honest, and we know what honest is. Oh, well, you know, they don't need this, or that's okay, there's plenty over there. Oops, I'm going to, oh yeah, you know, whatever it is, we know what honesty is. We know if we're being, you know, good to one another from a giving standpoint, from an honesty standpoint, from how we treat one another. We know all of that. Oh, it's okay. You know, this one plastic cup won't matter. It all matters. That subtle thought is accelerated, and it's blowing up in a way you can't possibly imagine, my friend. All right? There's no such thing as big and small, good and bad. Everything just is. A thought is a thing. It doesn't matter if it's a castle or a button. It's a thing. This is why the Bible says it's just as easy to, you know, create a castle as it is a button, because the universe judges nothing. We do that. Oh, I can't have a castle, so I'll get this little shack over here. And then other people, they want the castle. I have to have the castle. And they're thinking, button. It's time, because karma's going to now make itself so apparent. Karma's going to shift right here. You don't need another 100 years to work it out. And we will go over to that, you know, etheric, beautiful side of our spiritual being and work things out there, because chances are pretty good. Most human beings still have some stuff they have to complete, and they may not do it in their lifetime here, but you can. What are you doing in your life that must be cleared up? And if there are consequences to whatever you have done, clear it up. Clear it up. Are you doing something you shouldn't be doing that could be hurtful to somebody else or an animal or the planet or anything else? Clear it up. You can make amends. And this is the shift, because it ends. The density ends. Now, I had a friend, I won't give details, but let's just say this friend did something that was definitely not right and served herself in a decision she made that was really, it wasn't very nice to the other party involved, and sort of left them holding the bag. And it wasn't the situation that was in place, it was how she handled it. So let's say you have a situation that you need to walk away from in order to, you know, satisfy your ability to go to that higher frequency. It's how you handle it that is really truly the karma. 100%. Because you can be in the worst possible situation and be the person that changes everything just through how you phrase something, without pointing fingers, without blaming, and are you lying to yourself? I see a lot of people say, well, I had to do that because whatever, but they know deep down it just wasn't right. Right? We've all done that. Maybe could have handled things better. And you know what? Your intentions count. Sometimes we do things and we didn't really have bad intentions, and we learn from that. All right? So forgive yourself for that and move on. But now, you know too much. You're too smart right now. Is it time for you to shift into that higher frequency by saying, what karma right now needs to be cleared up? What lie am I telling right now? What thing am I doing? What behavior do I have right now that must change? How do I speak to people? What judgment must be dropped now? That karma can clear up right now. And all those things you're doing, if you don't clear it up, will show up. The cause and effect. Now, if you've taken Breakthrough Fear, my 1-year course, we work on that. Everything's cause and effect. So I go into this whole lesson where I point out to you, there is an effect for everything. The thought, the action, the lie, the way of life, everything you think that doesn't count, the universe knows it. Oh, well, I'll do this. That won't count. Did you ever put your poop bag in your dog's poop, not your poop bag? You ever put your dog's poop bag in somebody's garbage and know that that wasn't right? Or something like that? Nobody saw you. The universe did. Right? That will come back to you because you're going into, not as a punishment. I don't want you to think this is punishment, because if you go into that space, it's just projecting back to you what you're doing. So you receive what you give. So if I'm doing this, guess what? Some dog may come poop on your lawn. And you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I had a big old husky come and poop on my lawn. This guy lets his dog poop on everybody's lawn. What do? They yell at him. So he keeps doing it anyways. When I saw it, I came out with a plastic bag, and I said, hey, here. I didn't say, hey, pick up your dog's poop. I said, here's a bag. And I said, your dog is beautiful. What's the dog's name? Dog's pooping while we're talking. I'm not angry at him. And we had this really nice conversation. And then when dog was done, he just picked up the poop. And we talked for a while longer. And I said, oh, yeah, you live on the next street or whatever. This is how you can handle things. It's not that, like, why did the dog poop on my lawn? It was an opportunity for me to go into a space of positive karma and not to use that to get angry or point fingers and say, he's wrong. He shouldn't let his dog poop on my lawn or anybody else's without picking it up, right? That was just one little thing, but it's a big thing. It really is a big thing, because it's not just about him, it's about me and how I handle it. And this is karma also. So if somebody does something, but they're wrong, oh no, how are you going to handle it? That's your karma, all right? So have you been doing anything that is, for the ego, for me? Maybe taking something, when you were kids, your mom made one person cut the piece of cake and the other one got to choose, and you made sure that that was perfectly even, right? What if you cut it a little bit bigger? What would happen? Would the other person take the bigger one? My brother might have, I don't know. He'd say he's bigger, so he probably would have, but he's the kind of guy who probably would have said, you can have the bigger piece. And I would have said, no, you can have it. That's positive karma. That's the giving. Because as soon as you give it back, the person realizes, oh, it's not that big of a deal. No, you can have it. And we're going to live in a world like that. That's what we're going into right now. And people are going to realize that's abundance. I didn't lose anything, because as soon as I gave, they turned around and said, no, I want you to have the bigger piece. That's how it works. Are you ready to go into that? So if you've been doing things or you've done some stuff that needs to be rectified, do what you can to clear it up. Try and do the right thing, because the message is, I recognize that it wasn't okay to act that way, even if the boss was a jerk, or even if my company treated me bad, or even if my spouse was unfaithful. My reaction wasn't okay. And I told myself a story that I could act a certain way because of that. And we know that's not true. We know that that way you act stands alone. It's karma. You can clear it off. And you're going to see a lot of people out there. It's happening right now. I'm seeing it. With some big names, people in power, stuff's going to go down because that karma is going to catch up with them now. And they're not going to get away with it. And the other part of that is the higher frequency world won't tolerate it anymore. It's not acceptable. We're not going to say, oh, that's just how those kind of people operate and those, and don't place the powerful and the rich on that negative frequency, because everyone's an individual. If people use money or power or anything to do things negative, there's nothing wrong with the power and the money. It's about the individual. So whether you have money or you don't, or you have power or you don't, is irrelevant. It's an individual choice of karma. And there are consequences for absolutely everything, a cause and effect. That's why the giving brings back abundance. The giving brings back joy. The love brings back love. Come and join me for Manifest Anything, free video series every week. You can click on it down here in the description, or go to landriaonkka.com, see what's going on, my Miracle Circle every month. You can sign up for that. And if you're Manifest Anything, the video series, you'll get all kinds of offers and announcements and things. And you guys, come on over if you want to learn new skills in the 21st century and learn what I do for a living and all of the amazing things. You can learn new skills or accelerate what you already know, improve an existing business, or create one from scratch. That'll also help whatever charity you're working on. When you get these skills, knowledge is empowering. Let's not sit back and let the world control us. We are the world. No more finger pointing. Are you ready to clear up your karma? Take it to that higher level. High level karma available right now to everybody. Let's go there. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful. Please subscribe. Loving, harmonious, and happy. And please share these with people. Let's spread the positive word that it's all going to an amazing new place. Get ready for a golden era. I hope I see it in my lifetime. Yeah, I think I'll be here for a while. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.